Thanks so much for joining tonight for Deep Release. We'll begin our practice with rolling, then we'll move into some yin yoga postures, and we'll finish with some yoga nidra. So tonight's practice that I have in store for us will be about opening through the heart. So both front and back side of the heart, some shoulder opening, chest opening, and I also want to do some hand work. So let's actually begin in sitting with either a stool or a table or blocks. And I'm actually going to start at the hands and wrists. So I'm going to take 2 blocks. And again, you can use a stool or a coffee table or something. And a standard size set of therapy balls or a tennis ball. And I'm just going to sit. And we're just going to roll out the forearms for a couple minutes to begin working our way up the whole front line of the arms through the chest, and then working through the back arm of the arm line up to the mid-back area, so that we just undo and open up all this area through the front, back side of the heart, and down into our arms. So to begin, I'm going to start with my left hand. I'm going to take the back side first of my forearm onto my set of therapy balls, and I'm just going to roll. No particular way, just exploring whatever sensation arrives in the back of the hands. And if I find a spot of sensation, I may bend and straighten my wrist up and down. Find another spot using my top hand to sandwich. And then I'll reposition the balls, rolling right up to the elbow, really getting that point, those bony points right around the elbow, where all of the flexor and extensor tendons of the forearm originate. Then I'm going to flip my palm over, and I'm going to roll along the flexor surface, along the palmar side. Maybe if you find a spot of sensation, pausing, and then moving the wrist up and down, maybe even circling it, feeling how the tissues move under the ball, making your way up the whole side of the forearm, all the way up to the elbow again, feeling where all of those tendons collide at the common flexor tendon. Feeling the myofascial or soft tissue pull underneath the balls. Moving the wrist. Taking one more minute, maybe even rolling along the ulnar side or the pinky side, getting a little bit of both sides, right around the epicondyle, the medial epicondyle, that common origin point. And then release, shake it out. Maybe bring your hands together and just notice the difference now in how it feels when you place your hands into prayer. Great. And then switch sides. Let's start with the back side, or the extensor surface of the forearm. Just exploring by stripping. Pausing if you find a spot of sensation. Making your way up, finding the next spot along the line, pinning and stretching by moving the joint below, moving the wrist until the myofascial tissues move with ease where the ball and body meet. Making your way all the way up to the elbow, finding the common tendon or origin point. Taking just another half a minute on this side of the forearm. Just exploring the sensation as ball and body meet. Just awakening awareness to the body, starting distally today, and then we'll work inward. And then release. Come to the flexor surface now, exploring along the flexor surface of the forearm. You could use one ball if you like, but I tend to like to keep the balls in the tote. Pausing at a point of restriction where there's a little speed bump or increased sensation, and pinning and stretching by flexing and extending the wrist. And then coming to the ulnar side or pinky side and just stripping along that outside edge of the forearm. Taking about 5 or so more passes. And feeling this awakened sensation in the body, reconnecting your awareness to the body, to hands, forearms. What we use all day to engage with others, engage with our work, how we interact with the world. Now retest, just bring your hands to prayer and just notice the difference. And now let's keep working our way up. So let's come first to the triceps. We started with the back of the arm. Now we'll come to the tricep. And so I'll give you a couple of options. You can keep this set up just like this, or you could come to your alpha ball. If you'd like, you could just lean to the side, kind of come towards a side sitting, and use your block to get into just like this. But most of you that have worked with me before, I like to do as little as possible when I roll, and I prefer to be close to the ground. That gives me a sense of balance, of stability, allow me to kind of work into ease. So I'm just gonna come all the way to my side, and I'm gonna take the alpha ball towards my tricep, and I'm gonna use my top arm just to allow me to roll over the ball. Meeting where body and ball come together, sensing the sensation. I can just roll and strip along the tricep, or if I find a spot of particular sensation, I could pause and bend and straighten my elbow. I may even turn my palm to face towards me or away, noticing how that changes the sensation. Just exploring the back side of the arm. Leaning into it, even if it means just coming to stillness so that you can soften into sensation. Maybe you even just let the head rest on the arm and take a few breaths in where body and ball meet. If you find that you're efforting or in your head rather than in the sensation of the body where the ball and body meet, find stillness for a moment to reconnect, to learn to listen. Feel for sensation. Taking about 5 more breaths here. No need to effort. Simply let your weight and gravity do the work. So often less is more. And then roll toward your belly. Sticking with this, I'm going to stick with the alpha ball. You could also use the smaller set of therapy balls too. There's no right way. And I'm going to bring my right arm, which I was working. If you're working the left, stick with the left. I'm going to bring it out like a T. I like you to choose what side you start on. And I'm going to take the ball right into my biceps now. I'm going to turn my palm to face down to the floor, and I'm going to roll from elbow to shoulder. And I'm actually going to turn my head away, and I'm going to use my left arm to propel me. I'm probably going to break the biceps or the humerus down into about 2 or 3 parts. And then wherever I meet resistance, I'm going to bend and straighten the elbow. I'm just going to slide the hand along the surface. Again, doing as little as possible. And then when that starts to move freely, I'm moving the ball up closer to the shoulder. I'm going right into the front of the shoulder joint, feeling where the pec and the biceps cross. There's probably a pretty nasty spot right there. Stripping in line with the biceps. And then if you find a point of tenderness or restriction, find stillness. And then I'm going to just bend and straighten my arm, just sweeping it along the floor. Again, doing as little as possible, only as much as necessary. Breathing, coming towards the earth, letting go, melting into ease and spaciousness in the body. If it feels right, find a moment of stillness. And then I'm going to keep moving the ball up now into the pec on the right side, taking my therapy ball just underneath my collarbone and still to the right of my chest bone or sternum. And I'm going to sweep along that space underneath my clavicle, staying in the chest, moving out towards the shoulder, feeling again right where that pec and biceps meet. If this is too tender, you can come to the Coregeous ball. If you find that you're guarding, bracing, or efforting in any way, find a larger or a softer prop. And then you can always come to stillness. Breathing right into where the body and the ball meet. This area just underneath the collarbone is where the meridian points lie for the lung. In the lung, in these points, these are the anxiety points. As you have anxiety, you start to create this clavicular or high anterior chest wall breathing, where this area stays stimulated and expanded. So as you come into this area, see if you can sigh that breath out, creating that shift towards the parasympathetic, coming out of clavicular breathing, moving back towards a fuller, deeper breath. You may even sigh. Taking about 5 or so more passes here. We'll do one more roll in this front chest wall before switching to the other side. Come right into the bulky pec muscle just in front of the shoulder. Make sure you're on that muscle. Like if you were to squeeze the front of the shoulder, you should get a big bulk. Make sure you're right on that bulky area. And now the right arm is going to stay on the floor, but come up overhead to a Y position. And now hover it, and I want you to pull the elbow down by your side, and then stretch it up overhead. So you're rolling over and mobilizing that big, meaty pec muscle. It should be like reaching up towards Superman, and then pulling the arm like a lat pull down by your side. Reaching up, pulling down. Feel the tissues rolling underneath the ball. Initially, when you start, there might be a little jump in the middle of the range. The pec tends to catch in that like 80 to 120 range. So if you find a little spot where it catches, maybe just move through that little area of motion mid-range until it moves freely. Couple more passes. Reaching long through the arm. And then removing the ball,
letting your head turn towards the opposite direction, and just lying on your side, on your belly for a moment. As you lie here, just noticing the difference in sensation now between both arms. The side you rolled probably feels like it's a couple inches longer. You may feel it melting more towards the earth. Might feel broader or heavier on the ground, or it could feel lighter as well. Just notice what you feel, feeling the effect of your practice. Letting the wave of sensation subside. And then now moving towards the other side. I'm going to flip around so that you can still see me. I'm going to come onto my side. And again, you could come back to the balls on the block for the tricep, but I like to stay close to the floor. And I'm going to come to the underside now of my left arm for me, but do whatever side you haven't done. I like to give you the freedom to decide what side to start on so that you can listen to your body. And just strip along the triceps, the back side of the humerus or the upper arm, landing at a point of sensation. Maybe you first find stillness and heaviness. Breathing right into where the ball and the body meet. And if you start to find yourself getting into your head, breathing heavy, or efforting too much, pause and find stillness. Reconnect to where the ball and body meet, and then begin again. And if you find an interesting spot, maybe you bend and straighten the elbow, pin and stretching the fibers, the ulnar nerve. You may feel as you roll over the nerve, maybe even a few zings. Careful not to stay on a place that causes persistent numbness. By doing this work, we're stretching the nerves, which are part of the myofascial system, and the nerves love this flossing type action. So if you get any numbness into the arms, there may be a catch along that path. And so this is a nice way to free up the ulnar nerve, which goes to the pinky and ring finger. And then when you're ready, find the next spot along the upper arm, stripping to explore in line with the muscle, and then pausing at a point of sensation, maybe pausing. I'm actually going to even rotate over, going across the fibers, little transverse massage. On this side, it feels good to actually, like I'm picking up the edge of the muscle and moving it to the side. That's feeling nice on this side. So a little transverse massage could be done as well. Listening to your body. Your body's going to tell you what it needs. It talks to you or in sensations and feelings. So listen to those feelings as they arrive. Meeting them with kindness and curiosity. So the idea of using kindness and curiosity comes from metta, which would be loving kindness meditation. One of the is. And then curiosity is inquiry, so self-inquiry. Svadhyaya, self-study. And those are two of the main principles of this practice. Being kind and being curious with ourselves and welcoming whatever arises as knowledge, as wisdom coming from the body. And then learning to be with and listen with whatever arises. Pause. Take about 5 or so more breaths on this side, wherever you are, in stillness or movement, asking the body, what do I need right now in this moment? to feel supported, to feel safe, and to be at ease. And as you're ready, remove the ball, come right to your belly. And then now take your palm down, out like a T. Ball comes into the biceps now. So palm is down here, heads turn the other direction. Let your head rest on the floor. Be really kind to your head and neck. And then I like to use the other arm like a rudder, pulling me side to side. Exploring first the bottom half of the biceps. So from the elbow about to mid-humerus is where I am. And now I'm going to find stillness where I find a point of sensation, and I'm just going to bend and straighten my elbow, pinning and stretching. And again, you might feel a pinning and stretching through the nerve here. This is actually very similar to nerve flossing that we do. And that this nerve, your median nerve, goes into the first 3 fingers. So you might feel some different sensation. But if you get any persistent numbness, remove all the props, let it resolve, and come back to a different spot. Nerves are very, very delicate, gentle structures. Meet that resistance, meet any sensation or restriction with gentleness, not trying to make it go away, but welcoming it into your awareness and getting to know it. And reposition the ball, finding the next spot now in the upper part of the biceps, probably coming into where the biceps and the pectoral muscle collide at the front of the shoulder, apex of that shoulder. Doing as little or as much movement as feels right. Maybe bending and straightening the elbow. And then coming into your pectoral muscle. So now coming below the collarbone, just for me, it's to the left side, just to the side of the sternum. And I'm still going to keep this arm that I'm rolling relaxed. The other side, the other arm is going to kickstand. It's going to kind of act like a rudder to drag me across the top of the chest. Pausing if you find a point of sensation, noticing what happens to the breathing. Maybe as you meet a delicate point, pausing and breathing right into where the ball and body meet. Feeling that tender point start to grow in size and lessen in intensity so that it becomes a little bit broader and a little more diffuse until you're left with just sensation of where the body and the ball meet. And then moving to the next spot. Feel the expansion of the ribs right into where the ball is. You could roll and move, or you could find stillness. But notice what arises. Notice what sensations arise. If there's any guarding or bracing, try a softer ball like the Coregeous ball. feeling how the breath mobilizes the ribs and moves the body over the ball. Allow your breath to drive the movement, to create freedom and the sense of spaciousness. And then allow your ball to come right out into that meaty pec. So grab the musculature so that you can feel where you want the ball to go, and then place it right there. Now allow your arm to reach up towards a Y position. It might not even go all the way straight to begin with. Hover it off the floor, pull it down like a lat pull down, hovering parallel to the floor, and then reach it up, and you'll feel the pec roll right over your therapy ball, stretching out towards Superman, and then pulling down like a lat pull down. Roll up, reach, and then pull down, and feel how you might feel a little sticky in the middle of the range. Oh, you can't see the side I'm doing. I'm going to do with the side I'm not working right now. It's going to be up and down like this. You can kind of see it. Continuing until you get smooth movement under the ball. Maybe changing the range of motion so that you just move through the sticky part, unsticking the pec. And then when it feels right, when you feel complete, turn your head to the other side. Let your head rest. Let your shoulders rest. Feel the arms now, noticing the effects of the practice, maybe feeling a little more symmetry between left and right now. And now coming into the mid-back, let's free up the space between the shoulder blades. I'm going to come back to my regular therapy balls. And I'm going to place my regular therapy balls between my shoulder blades. And if you have the Coregeous ball actually, or a foam roller, not necessary, but I'm going to place my therapy balls. But again, doing as little as work as possible, I can just place my hips up on the Coregeous ball or up on my foam roller, so I don't have to work to hold my body up. And I'm going to cross my arms in front of my chest here so that I really expose the space between the shoulder blades. I may even reach for opposite shoulder blades, so I'm pulling the shoulder blades apart. And then I'm just going to do a little stripping up and down. I may only move over 1 or 2 segments. I may even find that I round through my spine, kind of like a little crunch by pulling my elbows down to my chest. That's feeling right for me right now. So just be creative with whatever the body's asking for. Right now we're stripping along the erector spinae of the thoracic spine, along the trapezius. We're going across the rhomboids. And then we'll come and we'll change directions in a moment to get the rhomboids another way as well, so that we can really allow the shoulder blades to move away, expose the back of the heart.
Repositioning the balls as necessary. Maybe you decide that you don't even want to roll, but that you want to just kind of stay with that flexion and extension action. It may look like a cat and cow, but on your back. Elbows move up towards the forehead, and then elbows pull down towards the navel. And that will give you a little bit of movement along a couple of segments, restoring that flexion extension. And then you may find that you even just want to kind of give yourself a hug, rocking from side to side. No right way, only what feels right in your body, what allows you to feel safe, supported, and secure. Sensation that allows you to be curious without guarding or protecting. Running the balls up and down along each side of the spine. So not in the bony prominences of the spine, but on each side, allowing that groove between the balls to create space for the spinous process. Take about another 3 to 5 passes here, getting any untouched spots. And pausing in stillness if it feels right. To reconnect to where the body and ball meet, allowing the sensations of the body to arise and give you information and direct you where to go. And as you feel ready, remove whatever's under your pelvis if you had something there. And we're going to just change the direction of the balls to be vertical. And I want to get a little bit more into the rhomboid. So we're just going to stay on one side of the spine, and we're just going to go in that space between the shoulder blade and the spine. So it's not a big movement. It's going to be kind of like a swing of the hips. So balls stacked, one on top of the other vertically. So one towards your head, one towards your hip. And I'm going to cross my arms. And I might even just pull whatever side I'm on. I'm on my left one across the chest. And I'm just going to twist towards that side. So I'm going to twist and move in the space between the side, the spine, and the shoulder blade. And it's not a big movement. Going across the upper back, broadening the upper back. Breathing as you go. Even rolling out now across the back of the shoulder just a little bit. And then I'm just going to pause with the balls right up against the edge of the shoulder blade, repositioning them till you find that just right spot. And I kind of roll away from the balls a little bit so that it pushes the shoulder blade out. And now I'm just going to do a couple of snow angels on that side, feeling the edge of the shoulder blade move in and then away from the balls, almost like that lat pull down action we did on our bellies. Now you can do on your back. And now I'm going to bring my arm up towards the ceiling, and I'm going to do a similar motion where the shoulder comes back towards the spine, but now it reaches away so that my hand reaches towards the sky. So I move the shoulder blade away from the balls, and then my shoulder blade comes back, and it's like it sinks around the therapy balls. And then I reach the shoulder blade up towards the sky, sink back, reach up, 2 more rounds. Beautiful. Now switch sides, starting with that sweeping in the space between the shoulder blades. So coming right to the edge of the spine and going from the spine out to the border of the shoulder blade. I'm hugging my shoulders. I'm kind of just twisting, rotating towards the side the balls are on, moving as much as you'd like or as little as necessary. You may just find that pausing in stillness feels right. And be kind. One side might feel completely different than the other. For me, kind of rotating over the ball on this side feels better. It's a little intense for me to try to move over the ball. So I'm just kind of rotating towards it, rotating away where the ball stays still instead of sliding over it, so that I'm not guarding, so that I'm leaning into sensation and I'm looking for what it has to tell me. Meeting it, able to soften into it, able to listen to what my body's asking for right now. And I'm going to uncross my arms and I'm going to create a little snow angel on this side. Reposition your balls if necessary so they're right on the inside edge, just off of the shoulder blade. I actually kind of scoot myself away so that I pull the shoulder blade away from the spine a little bit. And then I'm going to create this snow angel action, very similar to that lat pull down action that we did on our bellies. Remembering to breathe deeply. One more time. And then bringing the arm up overhead. So now it's actually bring the arm up towards the sky. So it's reaching out in front of you. Let the shoulder blade drop back. So it's kind of like you have puppet arms. Shoulder blade drops around the therapy balls and then reaches up towards the sky. So it moves away from the therapy balls. Then it drops back around the therapy balls and then reaches away so that you feel the shoulder blades move along the rib cage. Couple more rounds. One more time. And then remove all of the props. Just for a moment, lie flat on your back. Allow your body to sink into the support beneath you. Let the back of the shoulder blades be heavy. Shoulders be heavy. Triceps, back of the arms, back of the hands. Allowing gravity to be your friends. Sinking everything into the earth. Let go of efforting and lean into the support. Ask yourself, where am I still holding myself up? How can I do as little work as possible? And observe where you may be resisting. Without judging, just observing, becoming aware, knowing yourself better. And now, bend your knees just for a minute. And then bring your left arm out like a T. And now we're gonna roll over onto our belly, over our left arm. So I'm literally gonna roll right onto my left arm. So it's almost like I come into a thread the needle by rolling over onto myself. Now my right arm is gonna thread on top of my left. Let me know if I don't know if this how a speaker will do here. Remove that. So now my arms are crossed, kind of like Gomukhasana or shoelace in the legs. My elbows are stacked right on top of one another. I'm going to curl my toes under, and then I'm just going to move myself up a little bit. So now my elbows are stacked right in front of the sternum or the chest bone. And my hands can stay up in this position of sort of receiving and opening, or if it felt really nice to hug the inside edges of the shoulder blades before, you can just give yourself a hug. And that might feel really soothing right now. But wherever you are, find stillness. Let the head be heavy. Feel the compression in the front of the chest. Feel the expansion behind the heart, and send all of your breath to that space between the shoulder blades. Behind the heart and in front of the spine, trying to create space in the back body. Feel the inhale. Make the back of the heart rise. Then exhale, sink a little bit more. If the head feels unsupported, you can take your block or blankets to the head. Or if you even have your Coregeous ball hanging around, still the Coregeous ball feels nice because it's a lot softer than the block. And think about bringing your gaze down towards the heart. Starting to gaze deep inside. Looking deep into the layers, beside, behind the heart. What are you holding in your heart? Maybe there's sorrow. Maybe there's heartbreak. Maybe you were stabbed in the back or betrayed. Whatever arises, allow it to be there. Notice how the sensations in the body start to bring about emotions. Emotions bring about thoughts. Thoughts bring about beliefs. Use it all as information. Welcoming everything. Getting to know it better. And if you need to feel a sense of support, feel where the earth is beneath you. Feel where your body is completely at ease. Maybe it's the top of the big toe or the top of the foot as it rests on the floor, or the thighs as they fall heavy into the earth. Feel that external support and lean into it.
Pausing for 3 or 4 more breaths. Allowing to be with yourself as you are right now. Maybe even repeating that to yourself. May I be with myself as I am right now. I'm letting go. Feeling how that metta affirmation brings in a sense of loving kindness. And then take the right arm out, the one that's stacked on top. Push through the right hand. Left arm now comes out like a T, feeling the relief and the opening. Palms facing down towards the floor. Let your head turn towards the right. Right hand like a rudder. Push yourself now over on top of the left arm. So the front of the arm is down instead of the back of the arm. Coming right into the counter pose. Pressing the palm into the floor. Biceps into the floor. Pecs into the floor. And then letting your right leg kickstand behind you. Right hand can stay on the floor if it feels right. It may come up and behind. Feeling for the floor at the low back. If you're not touching the floor, let your hand tuck inside the waistline of your pants. And then find stillness here. Feel the opposite, moving between opposites. Opposites of sensation, opposites of emotion. As we open now through the front of our heart, from the hands to the heart. Maybe welcoming in sensations of joy. Breathing in up the bottom hands, feeling the breath move along the biceps, chest to the top shoulder, and cascading down the back hand. Coming back to the floor. With each inhale, welcoming a sense of opening, spaciousness, joy. Feeling a gentle smile in the heart radiate up towards the face. Allowing all sensations to be present. Being with whatever is right now. And then allowing yourself to roll back towards your belly. Preparing for the other side. Bring the left hand up overhead for a moment. First, allow the sensations to neutralize. Feeling balance and support. And as you're ready, without rushing, without efforting, begin to thread the right arm underneath the chest, like thread the needle. Now left arm stacks on top of the right, elbows cross, the stay crossed like this, or you can come and hold and embrace yourself, reaching for the inside edges of the shoulder blades, maybe even pulling the shoulder blades away from the spine to expose that space behind the heart even a little bit more. After expansion, coming back into contraction, coming back into yourself, let the gaze drop down. Think about bringing your gaze into the heart. So look, head hangs heavy, maybe comes to a block or the gorgeous ball or a blanket. Completely let go of the head. Eyes are moving downward in the sockets, looking inward. Creating internal gaze, finding stillness and allowing the body to speak. Listening through the sensations of our body. Sensations bringing rise to emotions. Emotions bringing rise to thoughts. Thoughts bringing a rise to belief. And observing without clinging, without pushing away whatever arises, welcoming everything just as it is. If you need to feel support, find that contact and sense where the body touches the earth, allowing the body to be heavy and lean into that support a little bit more. Letting go into support, into ease. And if there's any irritability or restlessness or a sense of anxiousness by the compression in the front chest, ask yourself, may I be with myself as I am right now, cultivating loving kindness. Pausing for 3 more breaths. Asking yourself, how can I let go 10% more? What am I holding on to in the depths of my heart that may no longer be serving me? And then taking your left hand out, pressing into the left hand, letting the right arm come out like a T. Palm towards the floor. Rotate now onto the right arm. Rotating back, opening up the chest. The left hand can stay on the earth like a rudder. Left leg kickstands, or you might take your left arm up and around towards a half bind, trying to clasp either the back of your pants or the floor beneath you. Moving from introspection to this opening, this expansion and outward expression. Feeling that movement and that spaciousness from the heart into the hands. Cultivating sensations of sympathetic joy. Remembering how it's our hands that do our work in this world. May our hands be connected to that heartfelt desire, that life's longing that abides in the heart. Take about 8 to 10 breaths, breathing up the bottom arm, opening through the chest, feeling the breath cascade down the back. Feeling the taking in and letting go. About 5 more breaths here. Breathing up in that space between the body and the floor, opening through the heart, feeling the breath cascade down the back. Exhaling a big sigh through the mouth. Returning to the belly. Let both arms come by your sides. Turn the head towards the right. And just allow yourself to completely surrender. Prostrate here in a position of devotion. Letting go of any last bit of efforting. Letting gravity be greater than any effort in the body. Gravity is your friend. Helping you to let go into ease, into support. Oops. One sec. And as you're ready, roll onto your back for our final posture. Taking your hands and clasping them behind the back as you come in towards a bridge. Rolling one arm underneath you, then the other arm underneath you, trying to bring the palms to touch, and then gently lowering the body onto the hands. Feeling this version of bridge as a gentle heart opening, allowing the heart now to be revealed, revealing what we hold in the depths of our heart.
In yoga, there's a term called Shraddha. You are what you hold in your heart. Stay here until you feel complete. And as you're ready, remove the hands, let the feet come towards the earth, and make your way towards your final Shavasana. As you arrive in Shavasana, allow the toes to turn out to the side. Allow the palms to turn upward, allowing the legs and arms to move away from the body towards low V's. Allow the shoulder blades to roll back and down, opening the chest. And connecting to the deep sense of support by feeling where the body is resting on the earth. Heels, calves, thigh, buttock, spine, rib cage, shoulder blades, shoulders, backs of the arms, backs of the hands, back of the head. Whole back body surrendering into the floor. Feeling the body sinking, heavy, at rest, and at ease. Letting go of any last inkling or trace of effort or contraction or constriction by allowing your body to scan, or your mind to scan your body from head to toe and toes back up to head, pausing at any point of tension, observing it, staying with it until you soften completely. Feeling completely relaxed, at rest and at ease throughout your entire body and mind. Feel the whole front body, back body, left side of the body, right side of the body, surface of the body, sensations deep inside the body. Feel the whole body inside and outside as sensation. And then sense the body breathing itself. No need to change. Feeling the breath as sensation enter through the nose, belly rising, rib cage expanding, exhaling, rib cage sinking, belly sinking, air exiting. Observing the breath entering and exiting. Breath as sensation, creating an internal massage. Now observe all that is in your awareness. Sensations of the body and the breath. Arising emotions, thoughts, beliefs. Everything arising, unfolding, and then passing away without clinging. Being with whatever is right now. Sensing everything that's in your awareness. Sensing yourself as awareness. Dropping back into being awareness itself, in which all of these changing sensations are arising, unfolding, and passing away. Sensing yourself as pure, spacious, unchanging awareness. In your awareness, start to welcome in sensations in the body of joy, of bliss, sensing well-being, beginning at the heart. Feeling joy radiate from the heart, out through the hands, out of the fingertips. Joy filling the heart, overflowing, filling the torso, flowing down the legs and out the feet. Joy rising up in the heart, filling the head, the face, lips smiling, cheeks smiling, eyes smiling, the whole body being bathed in joy, bliss, and well-being. And then begin to return to sensations of the body resting on the earth. Feeling your perimeter. Feeling the heart beat within the chest. Feeling your center and periphery. Yet remaining in that sense of spacious awareness and joy. Remembering that you can access these at any time. That they are your essential nature and available at a moment's notice. And taking that with you from your mat back into the world, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You can choose to stretch long through your arms and legs, or you may feel inclined to pull everything in towards center to give yourself a hug, awakening, like you're arising first for the first time. Waking up to yourself, new in this present moment. With new wisdom, new understanding, new embodiment. Roll to your side, integrating everything from the practice as you roll towards fetal position, that position of immense growth, change, and learning. Pausing and acknowledging that still occurring with every passing moment. And with that child's mind and beginner's mind, push yourself up to seated so that we can close where we began in order to begin again. Thank you for your time and your practice. May this practice allow you to breathe deeply, move freely, and live fully as you move from your mat to do your work in this world. Sharing your essential nature of joy, spaciousness, and well-being. Thank you so much. Namaste.